Good morning and welcome to the Elevate Renatus team call. This is your host, Keely Austin. Today is April 1st. It's Wealth Wednesday. And today, as of right now, we have 62 participants on the line. A little bit of Daine's history before we get started. He was working two jobs. He was working for Apple and as a roofer. And for Apple, he was in the back. He was actually kind of shy. And as a roofer with fair skin, red hair, working in the sun all day was not his cup of tea. Daine fell into roofing because that's what his dad was doing for work. At the time, he was barely making ends meet. He started looking for other income opportunities. After finding Renatus, he plugged into the Renatus system, listened to his mentor. He started to apply what he was learning, applied the velocity banking to pay down debt, and then he used that as leverage as a down payment for a duplex. He lived in one side and rented out the other. Fast forward to today, now Daine has raised over $10 million from investors to lend on various real estate transactions. And his secret to that is consistency and frequency. He has now grown his team. He's a PIT team member, meaning he's on the President's Advisory Council in training with our CEO, Bob Snyder. He's recognized as a key leader. And again, we're very fortunate to get to learn from Daine this morning. Good morning, Daine.
Good morning. How you doing, Keely?
Doing awesome. Thanks. How are you, Daine?
I'm doing great. Doing better than I deserve. That's what I should say. But good morning, everybody. Renatus Nation. I'm doing more camera on these days. I don't know why, but I just feel like this is like the best. This is the best connection I get with the outside world these days. So this is awesome. If you guys want the same, camera on. Let's chat face to face here like this. But yeah, so those of you who looks like I've already had a few chats, but yeah, those of you who know the way that I like to run these calls is I like to interact with you guys. I want to have more of a conversation, and let's talk about what's going on. Let's see what we can do to help. Let's share what's working. I've got some really good stuff today that I would love to share, but like I said, this is your guys' time, not mine, because the most important work that you are going to do is not be on this call. The most important work that we do is going to be what we do outside of this call, what we do immediately after this call, what we do throughout the entire day and talking to people and stuff like that. So again, this is your guys' time. So first, what I really like to do is just report how many people did you talk to? How many people did you get in front of or get in front of Renatus in the last 7 days? Some people, they're counting how many intros, how many people they just talked to, 3-foot rule. Some people are posting, some people track just one-on-ones like myself, for example. So in fact, I'm going to do that right now. I'll count that. So again, one-on-ones, that's what I like to track personally, because I know that if my one-on-ones are low, then I gotta shift somewhere else. I gotta do more invites. I gotta do more prospecting, stuff like that. But if my one-on-ones are good, then that means everything's working and we're doing great. So good job, guys. Thanks for chatting in already. Now, also, I'm a huge fan, and you guys have heard me say this every week, but a huge proponent of even posting the goose egg. Because people follow people who are honest with themselves. And so if you're honest with yourself, people are going to see that, and people will follow it. Okay. And so if you want a piece of that, then even report what I call the goose egg. Every time I have a goose egg, I can look back and I can see the day that I did. And because I was honest with myself, how you do one thing is how you do all things, right? So yeah. All right. Let me go through the chat here.
How I chew a number like that?
Sorry, did somebody just ask me a question? Who was that? Maybe that was on accident. Frank, was that on purpose? Maybe not. All right. Chat. How do I pull the chat? Oh, here we go. So here, I think I can full screen this. Aha. Chat. All right, cool. So good morning, everybody. Good morning. All right, Jacob had a goose egg. Glenn had 2. Esther had 5. Alvin had 5. Sherry had 5. Miguel had 7. Great job, guys. Chuck had 2. Deborah had 2. Frank had a goose egg. At least you're honest with yourself, brother. I think you're the one that was off of mute. There, when you're honest with yourself, things are gonna change. And if we have time to get into what I wanted to talk about today, then we'll talk about that too. So Don, Bruce had goose eggs. YK Salome had 2. Sarah had 2. Keely had 4 one-on-ones and 1 funded essentials. Congratulations, girl. Great job. Steve had 3. Connor had 3. Amy had a goose egg. Love it. Sue had 2. Renee had 6. Wow. Man, I got way more people posting than usual right now. iPhone had 3. Patrick had 4. Sue had 2. Nick there's 4 and 2 in funding. Congratulations. So order in. David Rainey had 3. Rick had 1 upgrade to a combo. Had a boy and 1 essential. Araceli had 8. Daniel had 4. And I can't even keep up with you guys. I think is it Wojo or Woho? Let me know how to pronounce your name, because I want to make sure I always get them right. Let's see, 0, but to get back in the game as soon as possible. TNT, baby. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. Cool, yeah, let me know how to pronounce your name, if it's Woho or Wojo, something like that, all right? Because I want to make sure I get it right every time, because I've seen you on the calls several times. Let's see, if I count up my own here, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4 one-on-ones. 4 one-on-ones. I put in 1 Extreme Plus combo and 1 Essentials myself as well. So here, let me report. 4 one-on-ones is what I count. Oh, I think I sent that to privately. All right, 4 one-on-ones. All right, cool. Cool. Now, I want to interact with you guys, right? So if this is the first time you've been on the call, I want to read this because this is a story. I just got told one of my ICNs is buying essentials right now. Congratulations. In fact, if you want to tell that person to jump on this call, we will welcome them with love and arms. But yeah, absolutely. That's awesome. Congratulations. Now is a time of opportunity. I don't know if you can smell it, but I can certainly smell opportunity with what's going on in the world right now. And I'm not talking just opportunity to get filthy rich. I'm talking an opportunity to help a lot of people and get very compensated for the help that you can provide, right? And we all like to be very compensated, right? Okay, so somebody come off of mute. You know who you are. Sounds like I've got somebody off of mute right now on accident, but come off of mute and share with us a question. Share with us something that you had happen this week. Share with us something that you heard somebody say this, and how do you respond to that? How do you, right? You guys get what you guys are picking up what I'm putting down here. Who needs help? You know who you are, and so just unmute yourself. Alvin, what's up, brother?
Oh man, a lot's going on since I'm at home. I've just been sending out 50, 60 messages a day to people almost every day, and I hope I'm not getting on their nerves, because I'm going back. The ones that I sent like early in March, I'm just going back and sending about 50, catching back up to another date and so forth. But cool. Anyway, one of the things that happened to me this week, I've been looking at some properties. So I've been working with a new realtor, and when I've been looking at property like on Zillow and things, I've been having conversations with those realtors and letting them know about events like the iOS and different things. And the realtor that I'm working with said that she was interested in learning more about investing. So I've been sending her and inviting her, and all she does is just say thank you for the updates. But it's like, what do you say to somebody? They just, you keep sending them messages, inviting them to things. They said they were interested, but then you send them like, hey, the iOS is on Tuesday night, or whatever event you're sending them to, and they just keep saying thanks for the update.
Cool. I think I heard the opportunity, you know, in a couple of things. I heard the opportunity in your voice right at the climax of your story. But also I want to ask you first, right? Where do you feel the opportunity is in your process right now? Right? Where do you feel that, where do you feel the opportunity is?
The opportunity where I feel it is to have more of a verbal conversation with them about it.
Why do you feel that would be important?
Because I think that it just seems like to me, when you just from what I've been doing, I haven't had as many verbal conversations. I've started off with a verbal conversation, kind of telling the story, and then getting their information and sending them some information. And then sometimes they would get on, you know, certain people would get on the actual event that I invited them to, and certain people would not. So I felt like the ones that, if they did not get on there, I felt like I needed to call them and, you know, find out what's going on with them. If there's something that, you know, I don't know how to explain it, but
no, I love it, man. I think there's your answer. I think there's one answer, I should say. So on these calls, is there anything that is going to make you feel more, and thank you for coming off, by the way, like other people that are listening are just like, oh my, you know, I guarantee they have the same questions, are feeling the same things. So on your calls, is there anything that you feel like you want to have in front of you that would make you feel way more confident to make these calls?
Never thought about it that way, but maybe having a script that would kind of help me look at, yeah, and you know, address what their objections might be.
A script, or maybe even like a list of questions or something like that to ask them.
Yeah, you know what?
Love it.
That might be it right there, the list of questions.
Love it. Absolutely. You're a genius. Last thing, and I love that you went immediately to calling them, right? That's something that most people need right now. Like they need to hear people's emotion right now, right? And if you call them your emotion, I mean, if you do what I do, when I call people, in fact, it's funny, some of you may have seen me, even on this call, when I was getting all ready, I had the camera on already, and then I was like, you know, I just woke up. I literally like got out of bed. All my kids and family are sleeping inside, and I usually like to get really animated. So I walked out to the toy hauler, and I'm sitting out here. It's freezing. My freaking frosted fire and Daine's off. But right before this call, like I'm up, I'm stretching, I'm like smiling really fast, really hard. Can you smile really hard, really big, right? Like I'm just like pumping myself with energy because I want to give you guys energy on this call, right? That is the purpose of this call. Like I said at the beginning, the most important work that you will do is going to be what you do right after this call ends, right? In your Renata's business. Okay. So my job is to pump energy. My job is to pump, you know, answering of questions. My job is to give you guys some tactical, practical, you know, stuff like that. Because right after this call is going to be your most effective time of the entire day, right? Right after you get a bunch of energy from people that love and care about you. And so yes, call them, give them your energy, get your, you know, start scooping up a bunch of energy into yourself right before you sit down and call, you know, 4, 5, 10, 20 people, whatever it is, and just give them energy, right? And like you said, have a list of questions, you know, things that you're going to ask them. And when I'm saying don't ask enough questions, I don't mean like, hey man, how you doing? Like, what's that? You know, I'm just have this energy of excitement, have this energy of positivity, of calmness even, you know, if you feel that you need that, and ask them some questions, right? The other thing that I would add to this is, you know, and we hit on this last week hard. So if I'm not sure if you were on the call last week, but stories, right? You want to be armed with stories. So in front of you, I might have a list of questions, but I also might have a list of stories, right? A list of names of stories that I've heard from people, and do recent ones, right? Because that's going to be so powerful. A list of stories that are current, relevant, right? People that are making money right now. I mean, a couple of things. I mean, we heard stories right now. People put in a combo. I know Rick upgraded to a combo this week. Nick had 2 in funding this week. Let's see, I had other people. 1 funded in essentials this week. 9 101s, 5 events, 2 follow-ups from Corey this week. And so you can see people that are they're taking action, right? So you got stories in front of you. Last week we had an awesome story of a gentleman. He's probably on this call. In fact, yeah, I saw him chiming in here. I mean, he had $100,000 month not too long ago in his real estate business, right? And so I would have questions, take some time to get energized before, and have a list of stories that you can just pull out and be like, oh my gosh, I gotta tell you about this guy. So he lives in California, and he's been plugged in with us for a little while now. And dude, he just had his first $100,000 month in real estate, and he didn't even own the property. In fact, to take it a step further, he learned how he didn't even have to come out of pocket 1 penny on either of these couple properties that he was able to quickly flip and make all that cash, right? And then you say, oh yeah, we got an event going on Thursday night where we'll be talking more about how he did that, right? Can you make that? And so you'll have a much better show up ratio. Absolutely much better show up ratio. So yeah, hope that helped. List of questions, list of stories, and then just like start scooping up energy around you, put it inside, and then just direct it towards whoever you're talking to on the phone. Because again, the most important work that you'll do is going to be probably like this these days, on the phone or in front of like a camera, Okay. So great job. Let's see. I had a question over here. I'm Keely. Wherever you enter my iPad is now the calendar in the back office. Oh, Ada Maria, that calendar event is in Helios now. So jump into Helios and you'll see that. You'll see that calendar event in Helios for this coming Thursday. So register, and anybody that's plugging into Michael Huggins Zoom, jump in on there. So cool. Let me go ahead and share my screen here. Share screen, iPhone, iPad, and bam. Here we go. All right, cool. So I got some good stuff that I would love to share with you guys today, right? And a lot of it has to do with what's going on, in the world today, right? Let me look up a couple of my notes here. Okay. So first of all, I mean, I don't know how everybody's looking at this, right? I can see the media, I see the news, and it's really divided. But if you're educated, then you're seeing this as an opportunity, right? You're seeing, and like I said at the beginning of the call, not just to get filthy rich. No. You're seeing this as an opportunity to help a lot of people that are struggling, right? People are struggling right now. And it's interesting. It's so interesting to see with what's going on in the world. It's almost like this virus is picking and choosing industries, right? Some industries are falling off the radar and some industries are flourishing, right? If you're anywhere in the toilet paper supply chain, any middleman in between, then you're getting rich right now, right? There's a bunch of other types of things that people are getting really wealthy and people are struggling right now. Okay. And so a couple of thoughts that I had in these lines, because again, I'm looking at this as an opportunity, right? Some people are doing well, some people are not, right? But here's here's what I'm noticing. The people that are choosing to look at this as an opportunity are finding that thing that they can do, right? And here's I think my biggest observation is, for all those people that are maybe new to Renatus, right? The time, how do I say this? How do I say this in the best way that everybody can take the correct action upon it, right? Those who already have resources, right? Like for example, myself, I joined Renatus 4 years ago. I've been building some resources. Those who already have resources are able to act right now, right? And those who don't, we've got a little window, right? We've got this window to prepare big time, because at the end of the day, and this is what Renatus teaches, cash is king. Cash is king. That was true yesterday when nothing was happening in coronavirus. You know, none of us cared about this, right? A month ago today, I think there was like the first case, right? None of us cared. Cash was king back then too. The interesting thing is that it was very easy to go and get debt. Very easy to go and get debt. Okay? But cash was king still back then too. But those people who are fooling themselves that go and get lots and lots and gobs of debt are like, oh my gosh, what the heck happened, right? So cash is still king, I'm noticing, right? I mean, I picked up 2 properties this week, picked up 2 properties last week. Put cash, you know, pay in cash for these. I mean, we're talking hundreds. I mean, I'm not sure if you've seen what's going on right now, but all these wholesalers that are out there and you know, they collected everybody's information over the last, you know, couple of years, and like they couldn't find their single real estate deal, seems like. I mean, my inbox is flooded now. All of a sudden, I'm getting wholesale deals from wholesalers, and I'm not looking at every single one of them, because I mean, I'm sure some of them are newbies and whatever, but whatever, beside the point. I am just seeing this influx of properties coming across my plate, right? More than I've ever seen before. I'm seeing people that fully furnished Airbnb properties, and they're just selling everything. They're selling the property, they're selling the Airbnb business, they're selling all the furniture inside of it, right? And we're talking pennies on the dollar. And so cash is still king. Those who already have resources can be taking action, or, you know, sit back and wait a little bit and see what's going on. Those who have no resources, now is the time, better than any, to prepare. Right? I can't tell you how many people I've talked to that are like, oh my gosh, my retirement account, you know, dropped 30% in the last couple of days. Okay. So opportunity has arrived. Those of us who are prepared are about to have a heyday. Those of us who take the time right now to get prepared will also have a heyday. Okay. And now here's one more thing that I want to talk about. Okay. And this may apply to you, this may not. Well, actually, this will affect everybody one way or another, okay? But I'm noticing that all of the businesses that this is wiping out, it's not because of the coronavirus, okay? Nancy just finished, she reminded us to test our nationals tickets today instead of tomorrow. Cool, thanks Pete. So Nancy just finished her impact call, and she reminded everybody to test their nationals ticket today. Make sure that you can jump in on that live stream instead of tomorrow. Okay, and Pete, I think what you mean by that, and let's actually hear. Let me share my screen. I'm gonna sidetrack. Let me make a note of right now to come back to this.
Are you gonna demonstrate how to do it before you end?
Yeah, we're gonna go try that right now.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm gonna go. Oh, wait, I need to share my screen again. Share screen. We're just going to share the computer. All right, share screen. Let's do this together. So I'm going to go to, I'm going to go to my back office in Helios now. Let's put in password. And we're going to check. Now here's the thing with we will still be streaming because they have it all set up for the streaming on the old Business Center. So step one is going to be log into Helios, because it's the only way to get access to the Business Center anymore. Log into Helios. You're going to say, click here, right here, where it says Business Center. So you're going to click right here. And you're going to still log in to this one, right? Probably the same login as before. It looks like everything works. So you notice that up here, it's old.myrenatus.com. It is no longer secure.myrenatus.com. Let's say Renatus National Conference is live. Click here to view. And bam, cool. Looks like mine is working. Okay, so that's, oh, that's really loud. So this is how you're going to test and make sure that your conference ticket is working. So go to Helios, click on the little thing that says go to the old Business Center, and then right at the top, there's a button that says National Conference is live. Click here to view. And so just click that, and if it works, you're good. If it doesn't work, then talk to your 5-star or your PAC member and say, hey, help me get access to, you know, I paid for my ticket, but I do not have access. Okay, so that happened to a couple of people, and they taught us on Monday, I think. Yeah, they taught us on Monday how to make sure that you have that. And it's something that we have to do on the back end if you're registered under us. Okay, yeah, that's how to do it. All right, back to my thought here. How do I stop share, reshare, back to iPad, share, back to iPad. Okay. Cool, so let's talk about this. The people that are getting wiped out, right? And this comes back to a concept that I call, you know, basically, you know, well, we know this from Woody, right? Internal versus external stuff, okay? And so at the end of the day, the people who are getting wiped out, if everybody were to blame, if your mindset is to blame coronavirus, or what the people, you know, let's list all the things that off the top of my head. Coronavirus, what the government is doing to you know, acting because of coronavirus, what the Washington Post is posting, or the media, you know, whoever, what people are posting about. I mean, we could blame everything under the sun as to why businesses are drying up, why people are losing jobs, why people are not able to make. I mean, today's April 1st, right? The average American will write a check between today and April 5th, right? Yeah, whether that's a mortgage or whether that's a rent. I mean, the average American has to write a check between today and April 5th. And some people will not be able to, right? Now, again, we've got two ways to look at this. Either A, we can blame coronavirus, how the government is reacting to it, how the media is reacting to it. I mean, there are all these things that we can blame. But check this out, and check out how much power this gives you, right? Coronavirus will only have as much power as you give it, right? So check out this mindset. The coronavirus, or all of the things that could be happening, right? I don't care, all the things under the sun. If you want to add one into the comments that I missed, great. I'll add that one in there too. But coronavirus and all the things are only exposing those who did not prepare. Coronavirus is only exposing those who were weak already, right? And I sincerely apologize if this is striking a chord with you right now, but somebody needs to say this, right? And so I may create a hater by saying this, because sometimes the truth is hard to hear, okay? But notice that coronavirus, I'm already getting comments, coronavirus is it's exposing the weak or the unprepared. Those people who over-leverage themselves with debt are getting themselves in trouble, right? It doesn't matter. I mean, people lose jobs all the time. Yeah, we're having more people lose jobs than ever before. But people who do not fear when they lose a job or lose an income stream or lose a source of income, I don't care. and fret was because they didn't prepare for that, right? Everybody, right? We hear this in Mark Kohler's classes left and right. Everybody needs a side hustle, all of us, right? So, for example, I make a lot of money in my Renata's business, all relative, obviously. I make money in my Renata's business. I make money in my real estate, right? I make money in my, right? So I make money in short-term rentals. So I got all these different streams because I've been preparing, right? And let's say you're new. Same thing, like even again, cash is so king right now. And I'll get to comments in just a sec. Thank you guys for commenting in as well, right? Because again, this is your time, not mine. And so I'm here to help you guys. But again, I wanted to expose this because again, coronavirus and all the things in between, it is exposing the weak because you didn't prepare financially, you didn't prepare mentally, you didn't prepare spiritually, maybe you didn't prepare, right? And so people that were living either paycheck to paycheck because they chose their lifestyle to be what their paycheck was, those are the ones who are struggling. People who lived well within their means, right? People who said, oh, you know what, I'm going to wait until I go buy that dream car until I can really afford that dream car, or whatever, right? The ones who leveraged themselves and went and got debt to establish their dreams, that was a weak move. Because again, a month ago, it was so easy to go and just get all the debt you need to get all the dreams you want. But the people who are and were focusing on cash, living within their means, right? Right now is an opportunity. It's an opportunity to bring power on the inside because of what's going on the outside. And now is a better time than any, right? All right, I'm looking at this, and my wife and I were up until 1 a.m. last night, sitting down and saying, you know what? Let's trim some fat, right? Because right now, because we've made a lot of money, we've been living in a really great lifestyle. And we look back and we're like, there's a bunch of things that we just don't need. And this is an opportunity to propel us forward by saying, you know what? Let's get rid of this fat. Let's get rid of this fat. Let's take a look at our budget and figure out why it is, what is holding us back mentally, spiritually, physically, financially, right? If there are not things that are promoting positivity in these different categories, then just get rid of it, right? This is, again, look at this as an opportunity. And if you bring the power from within, then you're going to shine, right? Again, you will get heavily compensated in even today's economy with what you do, okay? So let me check comments because I've had a whole bunch of them. Whole bunch of comments. Test it today, not tomorrow. Today, not tomorrow. I love it. Amen. Can I get an amen? I love it. Thank you, Sherry, Stephen. The truth will set you free. So true. Cool. I didn't create any haters. The truth will set you free. Can I tell you something? Yeah, Sherry, if you want to come off on mute and back me up, preach, brother. Cool. I'm glad this is a good group, right? I should have known, because some people are not taking, this is what I'm saying to everybody. Some people are not taking this very well, because again, guilty people are, guilty people of living too fat. Oh my goodness, they're not loving this. But yeah, Sherry, I think it was you. You said you got a story.
Yeah.
So yeah, please do.
Remember, I think it was a couple of weeks ago, you said to put out there a question about like, what's your side hustle?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I actually did do that, and I really didn't get much response. I think I did like an Instagram story or something. Really didn't get much response on that. But then somebody contacted me privately, and they were like, oh, I've been thinking about doing real estate as a side hustle. And so last week she came to a presentation. Well, she didn't come to a presentation. She was on a call,
She logged on to a presentation.
Yes, logged on to a presentation. Oh my goodness. Yes. And then, you know, she knew her credit was like shot, you know, and we did do like get funded online, you know, some different ones that which she didn't qualify for. Um, and then, you know, she said she had been talking to her boyfriend, and her boyfriend's really interested, and so he's going to be coming to or logging on to a Zoom presentation. Oh my goodness, it's
Yeah.
so strange to say tonight, right? Um,
Nice.
and so I wanted to talk to you about that because that's kind of been my experience right now with the last couple of people that have won it, who are like ones and but they don't have the money, right? It's like, what do we do now, right?
Yeah.
And I
Um,
know one of the things is like see if they could find like a partner, you know.
mhm.
Um,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
what else would you
This is
suggest?
crazy. So a couple of things, like I was talking about earlier, people that have not prepared themselves up to this point, it's going to hurt, right? We're going to see this more than ever, where people cannot afford. They cannot even afford to jump on board with us and link arms. They can't even afford the 197
Right.
because they weren't prepared, right? So our job is not, I mean, yes, have sympathy, right? Love them, but be more okay today than ever before to say, you know what, get after it. Pray that some opportunity will come your way, and we'll be here, right? If there's just nothing, if they've exhausted all options, give them the sympathy and the hope that we'll be here when they're ready, right? Now, let me give you one more thing though, because this worked for me a few times. Tell them that this will, funding their education, getting started in Renatus will probably be one of the hardest things that they ever do. But you know what? Doing your first real estate deal with somebody else's money, finding $100,000 discount or more, whatever, will also probably be one of the hardest things that they will ever do. And so if they have a hard time, or if just finding a little bit of money for them to get started in Renatus, and I'm telling people this, if you have a hard time finding the money to just get started in Renatus, then you're going to have a hard time figuring out how to find money to do, find other people's money to do your real estate deal, to do a real estate deal if you do deals using other people's money. Okay. Because, yeah, thank you, Brad and Sean. Because when I've been saying that to a few people lately, and they called me back. I wish I had time to go to, through my messages and show you, but I said that to a guy, and I straight up told him, I said, this is going to be hard, right? This is going to be hard for you. Again, if you are just so darn honest with people and just say it the way that it is. I mean, obviously there's a way to go about this, but if you're so darn honest and you just tell them, hey, finding money for you to get started is going to be hard. Are you ready for that? I mean, I've had people buy combos from me. I've had people pay for essentials. I mean, just in the last week, from people that I said that to, that this is going to be hard for you to get started. But you know what else? But to the tune of how resourceful you become to get started in your education will be a good telltale sign of how resourceful you will be once you are in your education. Right? Tell them that, and they'll get and you will weed out the fakers, the tire kickers, right? But you will inspire the people that take and basically internally say challenge accepted, and they'll go find the money, right? So yeah, tons of comments here. Let me check these really fast. Does that help?
Daine?
Oh, LaShawn, sorry.
Yes,
go
it
ahead.
does.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, like what Scott says, stuff that's lying around you're not using, sell it.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Thank you, Ross.
Hey,
Let's
Daine.
see. Yeah, go ahead, brother.
Yeah, great point on that. And I tell people who don't have the money, don't have the resources, hey, this is your first money raising project, right? So
Training starts today.
exactly. So you want to get resourceful. Look, and I tell them, look, I don't have $250,000 to raise money on my deals. I got to get resourceful. I got to go raise it. So this is, go out and raise $2,000, $20,000, but this starts right now. So kudos on that. That's exactly what I tell my guests. My question is, what kind of questions are you asking people who, I've got a couple of leads over the past month or two that have well qualified, they have the resources, and right now they're just locked in fear mode of investing in themselves. And moving forward, just because they're shrinking in fear instead of leaning into the opportunity. And I had a discussion with my wife. I was like, honestly, this situation, as unfortunate as it is a made to order opportunity. And we can either choose to shrink back, or we can choose to lean into it and take advantage of and use synchronicity to look for the opportunities that the current had. So what do you ask questions? What kind of questions are you asking people who are qualified, who have the resources, but are playing that scarcity mentality?
So I'm asking him this question because, again, I'm talking to people nowadays I'm talking to more unqualified people nowadays than ever before because of what's going on, right? This is exposing the weak, essentially. And so the way that I'm qualifying people earlier on, I'm basically telling people, hey, there's two types of people right now when it comes to real estate investing. There's either people that have been doing things for the last 1, 2, 3, 5, 10 years, I don't care, to prepare themselves for what's happening today, right? So some people are already prepared and have a little bit of resources, right? I was talking to just a kid just yesterday, no, Monday, talking to a kid on Monday. And he's saved up, close to $40,000. And so originally he's thinking, cool, $40,000, maybe one rental property, put a down payment on a rental. And I'm just like, dude, do you know what you could do with that $40,000? Right. And essentially I'm talking about this. Either people are prepared now and have a little bit of resources and they can pounce. They can pounce now with what's going on. Maybe just a little bit of extra prep work and some knowledge. Or there's people that you better be, if you don't have resources now, you better be freaking learning you better be in your classes like 5, 6. If you don't have a job, you better be in your classes like 5, 6, 7 hours a day, preparing yourself on how to go find the resources. Okay. So there's two types of people. And I ask them either one, you're the type who has been preparing and you've got a little bit of resources, or B, you better be preparing on how to find resources. Which one do you feel that you are? Do you have resources, or do you need resources to get yourself started in real estate investing? Right. And so again, just because I'm saying it that way, that dude, people can pounce now. And again, tell stories, picking up 2 properties, one yesterday, one today, for very, very cheap, very, very cheap properties in the most competitive area of my local market, the most competitive area in my local market here in Salt Lake City. This is where like investors dream of investing, and some people quit because they can't get deals in these, small areas, these small properties that are just like hotcakes, right? This is the area where if you own a house, I mean, you list it and people bid it up because you get 5, 10 people, bidding properties up. They're going for $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 over market sometimes. And so again, you ask them which one they are. Or have you been preparing for this? Do you have some resources, or do you need to prepare for this and get some resources? Which one are you? And then tell a story. Tell a story of like, oh my gosh, like you should see what this guy's doing that has just a little bit of resources. And and is able to pounce now, because again, cash is king. And we could show you how to leverage, let's say you don't even have enough money to pick up a whole deal. I mean, Renatus can show you how to leverage a portion of your money into a real estate deal with no debt, right? I mean, I'm in on dozens of properties right now. And I do right now in my life, I do not have a single mortgage to my name, not one. And dozens, controlling dozens of properties. And so that's what I'm telling people. Which one are you? Do you have some resources? Do you have none resources? And we got to get resourceful to get resources. And then tell a story based on what they say. Talk about stories of people that had no resources and figured out how to get them with us. Tell people stories of those who already have some resources and what they're doing with those resources today. So yeah. Does that make sense? I hope that helps. I think that was Steven, right? Yeah. Let's see, who else? I got questions here. Oh shoot, we're at the top of the hour. So sorry guys. Gotta pee. Yeah, thank you, Pete. How can they afford this? I love this. Thank you, Brad and Sean. Cannot say enough right things to the wrong person. Cannot say enough wrong things to the right person. So true. All right. So again, it's a numbers game because more people are suffering than ever before. And so we're gonna have to start swimming through more than we ever have before. Right? And I'll be right with you in just a sec. Last year I felt like I had like a 50% chance of people, if I got in front of somebody in a one-on-one, the way that I was doing that last year in real estate deals, I mean, 50% of people were just buying, right? Right now, that's not going to happen because there's just naturally more people that are struggling. Okay? So I'm not sure who this is off the mute. Okay. All right. Okay. Here's a good question. I had two of my brothers on last Thursday, and one keeps asking the question, "Will it work? What if I don't do anything with it? Is it really true?" And is now not answering what can I say to him to have him realize that he can do this? Dude, tell a story. Oh, sorry, this is Gal. Teresa, tell a story. And like we talked about, I can't remember who that was that jumped off on the very beginning, but gather energy and do not tell that story over text, right? Gather energy, pick up the phone, and you guys will laugh. I literally do this. When I pick up the phone with people, I sit there and I gather, and then as soon as it starts ringing and I hear them pick up, I look up and I smile really big, so that when they answer the phone and we begin to communicate, my face has a big smile on it when we start talking, right? And again, I tell a story like, "Oh my gosh, I got to tell you what this guy just did, or what this gal just did with us." Tell them what's going on. I knew money is very tight, chose to pay for nationals. We'll figure out some way to find out people to join me in my new journey. Excited and at the same time reserved. Good work, Deborah. Keep that positive attitude, right? Stay close to our group, because again, yeah, I know the most important work that you'll do is not going to be on this call, but this is going to help with the mindset of what you do after this call, right? If you guys all want to know a good time to reach out to people, I mean, I hope that I just shot you full of energy and positivity. Go and spread that, because it's not going to last, right? All the crap that's going on in the world today, if you pull up the news right after this call is over and you pull up the news, then there goes your energy, right? It's going to suck you dry. So capitalize on this moment. If you feel energized from this call, spread it now, because it's going to go away. Right? The most important work you'll do is right after this call. Go ahead, David or Gilda.
Yes, this is Gilda. I was just, wondering, Dane, if you might have some kind of like, um, like we can text a script that maybe we'll be able to use for texting people with this problem that we're facing, well, challenge that we're facing at this point.
Sorry, I'm not sure I quite understand the question. So you're looking for a script?
Yes, like say if you want to text somebody or message somebody about with this coronavirus going on, everybody's home, and I thought maybe just kind of not just the people that you already got engaged before and went on hiding, and also to new
Yeah.
people that maybe be able to see that there is an option for them, I suppose, to just be afraid with this
Yeah.
coronavirus. Yeah.
Yeah. I think what I'm hearing is, how do I talk to new people? How do I open new conversations? Is that, did I capture that?
Yes, and also the people that maybe we got engaged in the past and maybe don't even answer your phone calls or your text messages, or
Yeah.
just basically ignore what
Yeah.
you
People that
sent.
aren't answering,
Mhm.
find somebody else. Don't waste your time. Like, be more selective than ever before in your business. Because like I said, last year, I felt like it was like 50%, right? If I got in front of them, they were buying a combo from me. Now, I mean, that's changing, right? So we have to find the golden ones now more than we did even a month ago. I mean, a month ago was enjoying, people joining all kinds. And now, people are either running scared, or they're like, you know what, I think there could be an opportunity here. I just don't know how to jump on it. And so find those ones. There will be fewer of them naturally, but find them. Be asking people like, hey, what's your side hustle? Hey, say, hey, I think 2-3 weeks ago, maybe, I don't remember when, but I talked about being a detective and doing surveys, right? Be like, hey, I'm taking a class right now. Go watch your short sale class, right? I'm taking a class right now, and one of the activities that somebody gave me, wink, wink, I just gave you this activity to go do. One of the guys, that's, in the class gave me an activity to go do a survey, right? I'm watching classes on, I don't care, anything. What we should be doing right now with our debt. I mean, if you have loans right now and not lines, people are hurting because they have loans instead of lines. If you got lines right now because you followed what the instructor, Randall Cloud, teaches in the velocity banking classes, or even the advanced velocity banking classes in our bonus track, oh, dude, anybody with lines right now, they're just like, whew, man, I am glad I did that. I mean, I just saw a local credit union here in my neighborhood offering 1.99% on HELOCs. They'll do first position, they'll do second position. I mean, 1.99% HELOCs right here in the Utah Valley. I've never seen that one before. That's a great local. Anyway, you get what I'm saying. Take a class and say, yeah, do a survey. Be like, yeah, like one of my objectives in part of this class is that I got to go and talk to the X amount of people and do a survey of do people know about this, right? Have you ever heard of people doing this? Basically replacing their mortgage with lines of credit to pay off a house in 5 years instead of 30, right? Do a survey like that. If you want to be talking to more people, do a lot of surveys and just ask them questions like, hey, I'm learning this. Have you ever heard anything like this? Buying houses using other people's money. I mean, you name it. Could be anything. All right. So I hope that answers your question. But yeah, Bruce Holt. I didn't think I could afford it. My 5-star showed me a way. Credit card. I wasn't really interested in it at first. More debt. I went to a couple of home showings and saw what could be done and knew I could do it. I signed up. Hate to say this, and I'm embarrassed, but there are still parts I'm afraid of, and it has kept me from doing what I've wanted in real estate. But I've made a big goal this year and will make it. But it started with that first step. I've been blessed to have, blessed to have work from home for at least 2 weeks. And now I'm in charge of my time and I will kill it. Love it. Thank you, Bruce. These 2 weeks, I'll give required time to my employer and the rest will be family and real estate. Attaboy. Congratulations, Bruce. Sorry, Bruce. Bruce Holt. I joined your name. Bruce Holt. Good job, brother. Cool. Thanks, guys. Got to go. Top of the hour. I'll see you all next week, though. But hang in there. And remember, the most important work you'll do is not on this call. It's going to be after this call. Love you guys. Have a great one.